Hello, everyone. You are going to be looking at a different avatar. It's all still me. I have different looks. So I'm just waiting for more people to come into the room because it seems the Google people always show up. Hey, Google. Anyway, this is Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'm going to wait just a little bit. I may play my intro again because I really didn't get to look at it. So let me play it again. And then we will begin. Okay? Hello. It looks like the photo that I have there of Mia at the end is really blurry. As we all know, she's a very exotically beautiful woman. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And if you are new to my channel, as you can see from the ticker at the bottom, you can click the thumbs up. That's the like button, okay? Let me know you like coming over here. Click the subscribe. That means that you are one of the subscribers of this channel, and I so appreciate that, guys. And also, you can click the notifications bell so you can be alerted to my videos, to all of my videos. And for those who needs to know, you can tell Bondi Blue that Google is in the building. Okay. I tell you, let me stop. So this is season 6, episode 4, and there really was not a whole lot to it, not a whole lot at all. Let me turn my fanless fan on right here because I'm a little warm in here. Um, so Gizelle and Robyn, they are planning this Instagram live together. Giselle just thinks that people love her and Robyn on Instagram live. Okay. Um, so they meet up to have a photo session with David, the photographer. And I really wasn't looking up at this moment, but I think one of them was her hairstylist, and that might not be David. I think David may be the photographer, and her hairstylist may be Kyle or someone like that. At any rate, the gentleman who was styling her hair, um, you know, I've seen him on here a lot, so she uses his services a lot. Um, they are talking about Jamal, and David told Giselle that you can have a productive communication during the pandemic because Giselle told David that, or told the stylist anyway, that she and Jamal were no longer together because of the pandemic. Listen, anyone who loves you is not going to leave you over the pandemic. Her and Jamal, so now I wonder what they're doing now because most people are out and about. Not that the pandemic is over. I mean, it's actually gotten worse, but I digress on that. But he told her, she said you can't have a productive relationship during the pandemic. And the stylist told her you can have a productive communication during the pandemic. And that's true. You absolutely can. Just as many couples that broke up during the pandemic, the same or more stayed together or they became closer. So she says that she needs her man to be about 8 minutes down the road from her. And Giselle is so deceptive. I mean, she is so deceptive about everything. And she really underestimates the viewers. And it's almost offensive for her to sit there and think that we do not know that her and Jamal were not in a relationship and that it was something that was just really uh, thought of because of the show. They came up with this idea that they would pretend to be together because of the show. As a result, Jamal never wants to go on the show again. He never wants to be on the show again, not even to be seen with his daughters. So, um, she and Robyn, they prepare to do their Instagram live. She also tells her stylist about Mia calling Wendy simple-minded. And her stylist goes, not Wendy, with the 18 degrees, Wendy, simple-minded. And I say this with all due respect, for a intelligent person to be a professor and have the behavior that Wendy has, yes, I would call her simple-minded. So yeah, simple-minded. Hi, Kaishan. How are you? Oh yeah, Aaron. Yeah, well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers did get engaged during the pandemic. Yeah, a lot of people got engaged. A lot of people got married during the pandemic, which when we get ready to talk about Robyn, she's blaming the pandemic for her and Gizelle are both. They're blaming the pandemic for everything. It's just ridiculous, okay? So Robyn tells Gizelle that she thinks that she should reach out to Mia and try to get to know her better. And Giselle sends Mia this message saying, "We would love to get together for drinks without Karen." Without Karen. Okay. She specifically said without Karen, and we will see later when she denies that, right? You guys should have told me I was talking loud. I had no idea until I listened to one of my videos over the weekend. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm loud. Even when I turned it down on my computer, it was still like blasting. So I'm trying, let me try to move the mic here. So she sends Mia the text, and I just want to pause you guys and say this episode really was not a whole lot. I love it. I love Potomac. I want them to keep it on. It just really was not a whole lot to talk about, but I'm talking about it just because I watched it. So they show Michael and Ashley at the restaurant, and just to show you how it just was not a lot, I I wasn't even paying attention to Michael and Ashley at the restaurant. That's just how much this episode was not a whole lot, okay? But I wish that they would tell the kind of food that they eat, and I wish they would show the restaurants and show where they go a little more, like really zoom in. Normally, I tried to put that information here. I didn't catch the restaurant that Michael and Ashley walked into, but I'll try to do better in the future. So it also the cameras are now in Karen's house, and Raven, her daughter, is on the phone. They tell each other how beautiful they look, which is true. Karen is beautiful. Her daughter is beautiful. Raven has just landed her first executive job, and in all places, New York. Of all places. So, what a perfect place to be an executive, because when you can work as an executive in New York City, you can come out and work anywhere in the world as an executive. Okay. So, Karen really needs to hire a great writer to draw attention to Surrey, because they start talking about Surrey, Virginia, and they start showing flashbacks of how she was in the parade there, and she wants to do more for the place where she grew up, in terms of providing technology and uh, more information about food and produce. And Karen, there are grants to do what you want to do, baby girl. There are grants to do that. You need to find a really good grant writer. Stop hiring all of these expensive people who do nothing to put that out there about you. Because had I not been watching this show, I would not have known that she is doing that in Surrey, which to me is an amazing venture. However, it sounds like it is a nonprofit. So, um, I let's see. So to show that it's a nonprofit. Sorry, I paused. I was trying to pay attention to something real quickly. But anyway, Karen is cooking. I couldn't tell if that was pork chops or if it was lamb. Whatever it was, it looked delectable. I was like, "Girl, have me over for dinner." And then she had some greens or something going on there, and then because she was on the phone with her daughter, of course, she burned something. I don't know, or almost burned something, like most of us, we get taken away, and while we're cooking and we could burn something. But anyway, I liked that scene with her and her daughter. Then the cameras are at this place called the Joint Chiropractic because that is where Mia works as a regional developer. So she's a regional developer for the Joint Chiropractic. I didn't think she was a chiropractor. People initially were saying she was a chiropractor, and I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" But she's a regional developer for them. She's on the phone with Gordon. They're talking about Josh because Josh loves when his mother picks him up. He looks forward to it. And she's not going to be able to do it on that day. She asked Gordon to do it. And Gordon is like, "This is the third time you have done this. This is the third time you have done this." Um, so she goes on in her confessional and she calls herself a boss bitch. I don't think I can say that on YouTube. She calls herself a boss biatch, right? And look, stop calling yourselves boss biatches, okay? Do you know what the definition of a biatch is, okay? Do you know what the definition of that is? A female dog. That is the original meaning of that word. So if you want to call yourself a boss, even that's equally as bad because when you read books on great leadership in corporate America, to use the term boss is negative. You should want to be a leader. And a leader requires you to be humble and to be a follower and to be a person who helps the people that you are leading to grow. So stop calling yourselves boss, biatches. And I'm just saying that word like that, okay? She referred to herself as that. And I like Mia. I really like Mia. She's a North Carolina girl. I'm a North Carolina girl. How can I not like her? But like I said in my last video, she needs to know when to hold them and know when to fold them because her shade has gone awry, you guys. Her shade has gone awry. She gives really good shade and then she takes it back. Then she gives really good shade again and she takes it back. And then she gives shade along with a lie. And I'm just like, whoa, I don't know what to do with it. So, um, Robyn, the cameras move to the outside. It's cold. It's in the morning, and they are in the northern part. Maryland gets cold in the morning. Okay, Robyn has scheduled a workout with Wendy and Ascala in the morning in the cold. So I guess she is taking Juan's advice because his direction for her was that she needed to get up and work out. That's why she was always tired. So Wendy shows up and she's like, Robyn has us out here in the cold, and I tell you, my silicone is going to freeze. Okay. So, okay, Wendy, that'll keep you from showing it off. Okay. You show us too much of it. You guys come on in the room, okay? Come on in the room. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac, and it wasn't much, so I'll be done with it here shortly. You may have to rewind and look at it. In fact, I want you to rewind because I want you to see my intro, or you can just stay and watch my intro at the end. Okay? Um, so afterwards, after they work out, they're walking when Robyn shares the text that Mia sent to Gizelle. Because remember, when Robyn and Gizelle were at their photo shoot, Gizelle invited Mia to lunch so that they could talk and get to know each other. And she wanted her to come without Karen. Okay. So while they are walking, Robyn, Ascala, and Wendy, they not only get a text, she not only shares the text with them, but they also get a phone call from Candiace. Candiace calls them about her little girl pajama party. She wants to give a pajama party, a sleepover for all the girls. Okay. Now, I call it a little girl pajama party. That's not what she called it. And at her other house, they're giving it at the townhome, I guess, to say goodbye to the townhome. I'm telling you, Candiace just wanted to be on camera for doing something, really. Um, but the text that was sent to Robyn and Gizelle, I'm going to share that with you later. Um, Robyn asked Ascala how she felt about Ashley's spa day, which was Giselle's party for Ashley. It's kind of like baby shower before the baby comes, just to give her a relaxing day and have the girls around her and to enjoy her and talk about the baby, which they did not do. There was drama. Okay. Um, Ascala says, well, everything was around drama surrounding Mia. They should call her Messy Mia. Now, and I think Mia would not come across as being so messy if she would just be honest and be consistent, you know? Because I'm one of these people, if I say something, I mean it. If I say it, I've thought about it and I intend to say it. And I'm quite direct, quite frankly. Real sweetheart, but a little direct, okay? And so whenever I hear people say something like Mia, whenever Mia says something and then she has to take it back, or she says something and she has to walk it back and wheel it back, that is a person who doesn't know themselves. You know, you say what you mean. You can say it in a very, you can say it in a very tactful way and be okay with it. But if you don't mean it in a tactful way, if you've had it up to here with someone, it's okay to, be strong and tactful, okay, when you say it. And Mia keeps reeling everything back. So I'm just not for that. I'm not feeling her on that. So now the camera is at Mia's place. And I always like to look in the background, especially when it's a new housewife. I like to see their house. And Mia has a beautiful home. She does not have a wine cellar, but she did have her wine bottles, her wine up against the wall. That there was a place for on the wall for her wine. Um, and other than that, it was a very, just very, the scene looked very average to me, beautiful, clean, everything. But anyway, I digress on that. But her and Karen are having a conversation, and she tells Karen about Gizelle inviting her to lunch and said she wanted it to be without Karen. And at that time, Mia felt like she didn't appreciate Gizelle trying to tell her who she could bring to lunch and who she couldn't bring to lunch. So she says, unless you want to discuss business, this is her response to Giselle's text inviting her to lunch, okay? Unless you want to discuss business, there's nothing I have time to talk to you about. Would you like for me to connect you with my assistant to pencil you in this week? I loved it, you guys. I loved it because it was going against Gizelle. That's why I liked it. It was going against Gizelle. And as we see later, Mia reels that on back in. So that's what really got me about Mia. Go ahead and say it, mean it, because you have to mean it with Gizelle. Because if you don't, she's going to go in on you as she did at that pajama party. Okay, so we all have to join Candiace yet again in another singing session. Candiace has a beautiful voice, but it's the monotony of it all. It's always the same sound, the same tone. It's nothing that really makes me get up and boogie or get up and do anything. In fact, it puts me to sleep. So, hello everyone. Come on in the room. I believe that this. I don't know what's going on because I believe, are you guys with Google? Um, are you guys with Google? Because I am concerned about the consistency of the numbers that come through here. I don't know if it's Google trolling me or whatever, what have you. I'm not really getting along with them right now. And anyway, it's either Google or my job. Okay. So anyway, I digress. Um, so let's see here. She's in a singing session, and Chris, her husbander, didn't even show up. And I say husbander, that's what she calls him. He's supposed to be her manager, which means he's the one who's supposed to put together the production. He's supposed to network and put together the production of people who can help her, launch her music career. And we have to remember, not only is Candiace on the Real Housewives of Potomac, but she's working on her master's and she's trying to start a singing career and she's acting. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, your master's alone, I would just take time out and do that and get that out of the way and at least get that behind me before I get into anything else. Because after that, you're free to do all those other things. Um, I digress on that. But Chris is not there yet again. So I'm just, what does Chris do? I want I have got to find out. I know he says he's a cook, but all I see are grapes and pineapples and bread and cheese. Those are not things that you have to cook. Those are not things you have to cook. I'm sorry. Let's see here. What are you saying, Kaishan? Jay is using YouTube to shadow my activity. So, at any rate, Chris didn't show up. The producer tells Candiace to give him a little more energy, a little more swag, a little more attitude. And honestly, she redid the song. She sung it and he asked for all of that. But when she redid it, I could not hear the difference. I didn't hear that it was the same thing that she had just given him. So she didn't up her swag or her energy or anything on the song. So I don't know what that is telling. Um, I don't know what that is telling. Okay, so I'm sorry for the pause, you guys. I'm going to my notes are a mess sometimes. But anyway, the next scene is Gizelle takes Grace for a second time to get her permit. Bless her heart. She did not pass the test the first time. Does anyone remember getting their license? I didn't even get a permit actually. I went straight for my license at 16. I took the test. I passed it the first day. I had to drive my mama's car as the test drive, and right after that, they handed me my license, and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to party this weekend." So anyway, um, Grace, however, this is her second time trying to get her permit, and the permit is a written test. So she was very hurt because she did not pass. When she first got into the car and they kept asking her if she passed, I thought she was playing a game with them. I thought, okay, she passed and she's just acting and she's going to turn around and say, "I got my permit." But that didn't happen. So we could see also the sadness on Giselle's face. And being a mom, you want your children to succeed at everything that they do. So I I felt the sadness of Giselle. Um, let's see here. So let's see. Okay, next, after Giselle takes Grace for a second time to get her permit, I want to go ahead and comment on Giselle's fashion. And I'm sorry I keep pausing, you guys, but I'm distracted by something real quickly. I'm sorry. But Giselle's fashion this season, I know I've said that almost every episode. I'm I think I see an improvement. No one should say anything negative about her fashion anymore. I think that her overall look is not matching her fashion. She's a beautiful woman, but it's something about her overall look is not really coming together for me. From head to toe, I want to see it, you know? And I see that she's improved in terms of her clothes. At the same time, as beautiful as she is, she still needs an upgrade in her look, like her overall look. Um, At any rate, I digress on that too. So, and I hope Grace gets her permit. I meant to look that up before I came on here tonight so that I could find out for you whether or not she finally got her permit. We moved to Candiace's pajama party, her little girl pajama party, you know? And they show her mother on the phone. They flash back to a scene where she first tells her mother that Chris is now her music manager and that he is her husbander. And her mother goes, well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I like Dorothy. They also show Dorothy asking Candace, does she have to lick everybody's, you know what, a double S, you know, whatever. At any rate, um, in order to get into the party, everyone has to take a shot of a fireball. Karen is the first one to enter the party. She left a little bit in the glass. Candace finishes it for her. And Karen's confessionals, her look in her confessionals, they are everything. She looks absolutely smashing, looks gorgeous. I really like it. Next, of course, Robyn, the what can I call Robyn? Robyn is the non-housewife, the non hyphen housewife. Why is Robyn even here? It's just like, why is she on? Robyn is not what we look at the Real Housewives and aspire to be or live vicariously through. We don't live vicariously through Robyn. We do not live vicariously through Robyn. Um, when we see Robyn, it's not like, okay, oh man, I wonder where she's going to eat. I wonder what kind of car she's driving. Oh, look at her house. We're not thinking about those things. So I'm just like, I'm not anyway. I really want Robyn to move on. They have got to find another housewife. I hope Ascala is replacing Robyn, even though Robyn brought Ascala on the show. I hope that she actually replaces Robyn. I digress. So after Robyn enters, Karen asks Robyn about her wedding. And Robyn, here, she uses the pandemic for not getting married. She goes, Karen says in her confessional, she says, everyone is still getting married. So I call foul, I call BS on Robyn's wedding. Okay. So now Robyn says, I don't give a blank what Karen thinks. You know, if she wants to give a super spreader wedding, so now she's concerned about a super spreader. I'm telling you, one is not going to marry you, Robyn. It's not going to happen. Please, you and Gizelle stop. Okay. Gizelle then walks in her psychedelic robe. Um, and we learn also that Candiace did not invite Ashley to the party. And she blames it on the fact that Ashley is with child. And and perhaps, you know, she could have still invited her and at least give her the opportunity to turn down the invitation. But Candiace is rude. Okay. She's rude. Giselle's psychedelic robe, that's what Karen called it. Okay. Um, so that was a fashion faux pas. She should not have worn that. She should have worn something else, okay, to the pajama party. And in walks Wendy. And I'm going, Wendy, we don't want to see the same thing that your husband has to see. So please stop. Close up. Okay. But she comes in showing off whatever she's showing off in terms of her Botox filled body now. And um, we all have to get a look at it. And hopefully it doesn't freeze. Before Mia gets there, Gizelle says, that she says that she did not, that the reason she sent the text to Mia saying to come without Karen is because she already knows Karen. So she didn't understand why Karen needed to come anyway. She already knows Karen. So um, that is not what she said originally when she sent the text. She didn't want her to bring Karen because she thinks Karen is too influential on new people. So I guess she wanted to have more influence on Mia. Okay. And she knew that Karen n- would, have some things to say at the lunch. Anyway, Mia walks in and Gizelle, let's see. Da, 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 here it is. I can't, I don't even know why I wrote this note right here. You guys, my notes are a mess, just scribbly mess. Anyway, the episode, it wasn't really a whole lot, even at the end. Mia, they're talking to Mia about the text that she sent to Gizelle. And Robyn, I'm sorry, Escala puts her mouth in it. She says, I'm sorry, but I cannot sit still any longer. There's some collusion going on here. So Mia says to Escala, look, how many businesses do you own? And Escala says, a few. And I'm paraphrasing y'all. And Mia says, so you would allow people to tell you how to conduct your business and what to do and all of these things. And Robyn yells out in the middle of it, who the F cares about how many businesses you have? And I'm going, of course you're going to yell that out, Robyn, because you really don't have any businesses. I mean, you have your caps, and I hope that they are doing well. At the same time, you do not have it going on like these women. So, of course, you're going to say that and yell that out. You should have just kept quiet, okay? Stop yelling at people, okay? Try to learn from women who have more than you. That's what I say. That's what I do. I try to learn from people who have more than me. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me sit back and, be nice to this person. um, Mia admits that she was a little aggressive, but she also does not allow others to dictate to her who she's going to bring to lunch. Now, I want to say that there is a lunch etiquette. And to some degree, Gizelle is absolutely correct, even though I don't like the way she came across saying it. If you invite someone to lunch, or if I invite someone to lunch, I've invited you. Normally, I'm the payer. I'm going to be paying for the lunch if I invite you to lunch, or I'm going to expect to pay unless you get to the lunch and say, no, I'll do it myself. If you're insistent, then I'll allow that. At the same time, because I invited you to the lunch, you should ask me if you plan to bring a friend. So that's kind of how I see it. Let me apologize to Kaishan. Okay, let's see here. hmm Okay, how did you take yourself out? I was just testing. I've never used it before. I'm still testing StreamYard, so I wanted to test it. And so, how did you take yourself out? That's interesting to me. But anyway, I have never used those buttons, you guys. So my apologies. You were There were three dots there, and I was like, well, what do these dots do? Okay. So anyway, I'm going to proceed because we're almost through here. Um, anyway, that was their little argument. Um, let's see here. Okay, where did I get to, you guys? Okay, she doesn't allow. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna need a scholar to kind of fall back as well because she keeps trying to be seen as well. It needs to be applicable to you before you open up your mouth and put your mouth in it. If you're a new housewife, stand back, observe, and then the following season you can kind of gradually up your role. But these people just going in on people immediately the first season, I'm not into that. I don't like that, you know? Um, Mia, in the midst of her apology, she goes over and she tells Gizelle that there was a misunderstanding. And Gizelle says, no, there was not a misunderstanding. Okay? So Mia ends up apologizing to Gizelle and all is well. They now go in to the living room and they play Never Have I Ever. Okay? And Candiace gives them the rules of the game, right? Okay. She gave them the rules. She says, never have I ever. And if you, whenever someone says never have I ever, if you actually have, you take a drink, right? She gave them the rules. So someone says, never have I ever done ecstasy. Karen and Karen and Wendy both drank. That she had to explain the game again. That was hilarious. I was like, wait, Karen and Wendy has done ecstasy. I said, okay, whatever. So next, to bring the game on home, it was Candiace who says, never have I ever had my clit done. And of course, Mia drinks because she's had hers done, but then in the midst of drinking, she corrects him. She says, no, it was vaginal rejuvenation, which women have that usually after childbirth. Sometimes they'll have it. And a lot of women have had it on the Housewives shows. Um, and I think that the ladies were perplexed because she kept calling it, she had her clit done. That's what she was saying. So it was very funny to them whenever they gauged her lack of intellect in the difference between the two. So I digress about that. Um, they go on, and someone says, never have I ever had a threesome, right? Mia again drinks, you know, so she drinks, and they start questioning her about it. And she goes, oh no, I just wanted to watch. So she watched her husband. She didn't get involved. She said she watched. Yo, she definitely married him for the money. I mean, I could never watch my husband. I'm not going to sit there and watch, okay? That is not going to happen with me. So the fact that she sat there and enjoyed watching her husband do that with another woman, that's crazy to me. Mia needs therapy. She may be a good businesswoman. She may be a sweet person. She may be exotic looking and all of this, but she has got to go get some help to figure out why she has all these consistencies. It doesn't even have to be a therapist. It can be a life coach or someone who can kind of help her to grow because she's getting too old for these childish ways. Okay. It ends with Ashley and Michael on the way to the hospital. Ashley is in tears before getting in the car to go to the hospital because she says she's going to miss her firstborn, Dean, because she's not going to see him for a couple of days. And then when she comes home, he's not going to be her only baby anymore. So she's having contractions and she's crying. And you know how we are as women, we really do get very emotional and sentimental. Anything makes us cry, even if it doesn't make sense to you. And that was it, you guys. Okay. Thank you guys for showing up. I don't know. I want to have people come on and talk. I think the next one I do, I'm going to try to do just do it live with me and you all can come on. The next one I do will be the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Um, and I'm going to um, put the link in the chat and have people come on and talk. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because that's going to be the real deal, okay? With Erica Girardi, I hope to have some more information about them coming out. Uh, Celia, I agree with you. Mia does lie and backtrack. Okay, did you hear me say that earlier? She backtracks all the time. She's too inconsistent. You know? Um, Kaishan says touch the boobies or something. If you're doing a threesome, first of all, I would never do a threesome. I think that that is a mess. This world, I don't know what it's coming to. It's getting everyone is like all off balance. People are off balance. You know, even our government officials are all off balance. I'm just not getting it. But anyway, that's it, you guys. I'm getting ready to play what I played in the intro so that you can see the ladies. And towards the end, you will see Ascala and her husband in this exit that I do. Okay. Um, when you say what's the link, Kaishan? You no, the link. I'm going to put it in the next time because I'm getting ready to leave. I'm getting ready to leave. So I'm going to put the link in for StreamYard so that you all can come on and talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. However, there is a rule when I'm not going to be as the avatar. So whenever you click the link to come in, you will need to be in person. I will need to be able to not, like this is my avatar, this is how I look, but I will actually be here in reality. Okay. I may have a green screen, but I'll be here. So in other words, you cannot show up as an avatar. Okay. I also have a new channel for those of you who want to know. It's kind of a backup channel. It's called Vlogsphere Talk, VLOGSPIRTALK. But it is going to host employment issues. And on that show, I will be live. I mean, I'm live here, but I will not be in an avatar. And I want people to come on to the StreamYard and talk about their employment um, issues. Okay. So that's all for now. And thank you all for showing up. If you are new to my channel, again, click the like button, subscribe, and also click the notification bell so that you can be alerted to all of my videos, my vlogs. And thank you for showing up. As always, I always tell you guys many blessings to you and have a great week.